I don't want to take you to jail. I don't like taking people to jail. I don't like doing what I had to do to you in front of your kid. But you caused it. All you had to do was provide the information asked. No, listen. Shut up and listen just a minute. We had reasonable enough suspicion to identify you. That's all that matters. And
What was I being detained for?
criminal, like, we don't know what's going on, but we can call it criminal activity.
How's it going, everyone? We're getting on our way to one of the parks to take a little walk, and I had this video clip sent to me that I want to share with you guys, and I'm gonna see if I can, before I upload this and get it to the edits, I'll see if I can find a little more in-depth clip to it, or the original, and if so, I'll leave the link in the description. And otherwise, I was sent this clip, and I want to give a shout out to Ray's Moto Life, and I'll leave a link in the description to his channel too. And some of his content's a little bit different. He's not always focused on the stuff that I'm discussing in this video, but he runs a pretty decent channel, and hits on some good topics. And so I'm gonna share his channel, and the link will be in the description. If you're not subscribed to him, go check him out. And it's Ray's Moto Life. Appreciate you, brother. And I want to share this clip we are talking about today that is shows what these two officers, I think a couple officers, did to this man innocently walking in the morning with his son. Slammed him to the ground, arrested him and all that in front of his son because he wouldn't give them an ID, which he didn't have on him, right? And which is a crock of shit anyways. Your ID is like their drug, right? They got to sniff a line of that ID. We'll get into that in a minute, but let's go ahead and show this clip here, and we'll get back to it in a minute.
Hey, how you doing today? Yeah, where you heading off to? Just walking. Any specific location? Okay. Is this your son?
Yes.
All right. Hey, what's your name?
You can tell him your name.
All right, what's your name, sir?
Johnny.
Johnny. All right. All right, Johnny, where you come from?
I'm just walking around.
Just walking around?
Yeah.
All right, enjoying this weather?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Well, we're checking up on you, man, you know?
Just walk around. What the heck is this deal?
Found it a little bit suspicious, you know? So,
What?
just the walking around.
Walking around is a
Yes.
little bit suspicious?
I mean,
What?
technically not really, but I mean, it is pretty early in the morning. Just wondering what was going
That's
on.
what we do. We get up early in the morning.
got
just
your
walk
ID
around.
on you?
What do I need an ID for?
Because I just asked you for it.
I don't need to show my ID.
Okay, if you don't give me your ID, I'm going to take you to jail for failure to identify, because I've identified that you've been walking around down here at 5:30 in the morning.
Yeah, we do that.
No, you're not. Give me your ID.
I don't have my ID on me because it's at the house.
Okay, what's your name and date of birth?
Huh?
What's your name and date
I
of
don't
birth?
know, but you can't run. I don't have. This is a state where I don't have to show my
Okay,
ID.
turn around.
You're gonna do this in front of my son?
Yeah, turn around.
Are you serious?
Yeah, turn
This
around.
is my son. Let me bring my son home first.
No, turn around now.
Bro, you need to, here, let me videotape this real quick. I want this on video. What are you doing to my son? Bro, this is fucked up. Son, it's okay, okay?
It's good.
Bro, I promise you you're gonna pay for this.
You think?
Yeah, I promise you that. We're walking around, there's nothing suspicious, I've done nothing criminal. I don't have my ID on me, I told you that.
And what did I tell you?
And you just slammed me on the ground because I was trying to record. What are you rolling me on the ground for?
It's gonna be okay.
Dude, this is ridiculous. Man, look what you're doing to my fucking son. There's my phone right there, too.
It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. Hey, buddy. He's just gonna find out who he is, all right? And then hopefully we'll go from there, all right? Hey, what you got there? I'm not gonna hurt you. All right, don't worry about that.
Listen to me. You're okay. Hey, quit crying. Okay, listen, man. As long as you don't have like a bad warrant, I don't want to take you to jail. I don't like taking people to jail. I don't like doing what I had to do to you in front of your kid. But you caused it. All you had to do was provide the information asked. No, listen. Shut up and listen just a minute. We had reasonable enough suspicion to identify you. That's all that matters.
But if I did criminal activity.
Yeah.
But I didn't do no criminal activity.
Yeah.
No, I didn't. I didn't do nothing criminal walking with my son.
Okay. It's not criminal, but we still have reasonable enough suspicion to identify you.
And if I want to give the ID, I can.
No, it's not a if the state is not a if you want to
So
state.
it's a state that they can ID you at any time?
It's not a this is not a shall ID state, but once you're being detained and
What was I being detained for?
criminal, like we don't know what's going on, but we can call it criminal activity.
That's not, but I didn't do criminal activity, sir. That was
Okay, man.
thrown down like that in front of my son.
I didn't even throw you down, if you want to know the truth.
You did. And
No.
you rolled me on the ground, sir.
I rolled you on the ground
2
to
times.
I just making sure you don't have any weapons in there, bro.
Bro, that was just a little overdoing it when a kid's right there, is all I'm saying. Come on, you can't play in there. That's not ours, okay? We'll go home and pay.
All right, so listen, you guys, we don't mind you getting out and walking around, but when the police officers ask you who you are, you better tell them, okay?
Come on, let's go.
So what do you think about that? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. But, you know, and there's some people that would say, well, you don't have the whole video, the whole story. I'm gonna check. If I do, then that's what we'll put up. But if I can find it. But we see just enough just from this right there. And this is what we don't understand, and this is what we're getting. Our beliefs, they are embedding this into most of us because we just don't get it. Because we don't understand the scope of these things. And the problem here is this guy's walking with his child, minding his business. He was doing, like, he questioned him. Is this suspicious? Am I doing? Well, technically no, the cop says. Technically no. But it don't matter. It's not going to stop them from violating his rights and abusing him, right? So they say, where's your ID? I don't have to give you ID. And this is the thing, we don't. And, you know, these cops are 100% wrong, and they deserve to be brought to justice. And that's just the truth. You don't, they'll sit here and get you anytime at all. You can't lay your hands on someone, but they think they can lay their hands on you, right? Without valid reason. I mean, it's different if there is a valid reason on anyone, whether it's a personal matter or a matter involving public servants and the police, right? You don't have a right to lay your hands on someone unless a certain threshold is crossed that warrants it. And you know, and a lot of time we're seeing this stuff happen too often. Where you see that squirrel up there, we can't let anyone fool us, cops or anyone else. You know, let's not fool ourselves. Look, Whiskey right here. Oh, everybody, oh, such a nice, lovable dog. Don't fool yourself. He can be a real nut sometimes. Ain't that right? Oh, you're drooling over that squirrel, ain't you? Yeah, I'm not letting you get him. You're drooling. Wipe your mouth off. Hey, we got no napkins in here anymore. You stop that drooling. You're on camera. Don't you care what these people see? Show some manners. Yeah, show some manners. You know, in all jokes aside, I joke a little sometimes, and sometimes people don't get my sense of humor, but sometimes not, you know. But I get on this stance a lot, like as if there are no good cops. and there's a strong case that could be made for that these days. But I don't want to be, you know, and sometimes this is why I appreciate comments. Sometimes people, sometimes like I'll say stuff about the rich against the poor, and it's not all the rich. It's not like only the, you know, all, just because you're rich you're a bad person. There are good people and bad people in all walks, right? In all categories. And when I say that kind of stuff, I'm talking like the super rich that are in control. Okay, so sometimes I need to be more clear, and I'll come off as if there are no good cops, right? And it's starting to snow here, and right now a strong case could be made for that, especially right here in my area where I'm from. But chances are almost anywhere here in Ohio anymore. But I'm not going to lie and pretend that I haven't met people that seem to be good cops. And you know, at the end of the day, maybe deep down they are or not, right? But there's a lot of cops that feel like they're good cops and like they're just doing their job and stuff like that. And that's one of the things we got to touch on is what these guys did in this video to this guy is uncalled for, period, right? But those aren't always the case. These are the cases that get brought to light and people get out there and get it public. And that's what we need to do. We need to hold their feet to the fire, the ones that are being bad cops. But what about the ones that are being good cops? And honestly, they're weeding them out all through this nation. It's because the government that's in control is weeding them out. But that don't mean that people still aren't signing up intending to be good cops, right? At the end of the day, like I've said before, it's all a matter of us as human beings, right? I can give you, like, our one friend that chimes in with her values, right? Tries to argue with me on stuff, and you know, if all you're gonna do is watch my channel just to argue with me, then don't, right? But he, she, whatever will, you know, say stuff to kind of make me look bad. So like you're siding with these people that that violated me, and I'll say a lot of times in the videos, well, in my case, or look what happened to me. Well, one, this is my channel, right? But two, it's because that's what I'm referring my experience off of. Okay, but there's plenty of people with similar experiences, or even worse experiences, or even bad experience that just ain't as bad as mine, right? It goes, there's a spectrum of it. But the thing is, we get the cops are being trained this way, right? There are some that honestly believe they're just doing a good job as a cop. They're being a good cop because they were trained this way. They're trained now, and I'll see if I can find a clip, and if not, I'll find it later and do a separate video on it. But that shows the way they're training. And there was somebody took a camera in, and it recorded it unknowingly, right? This training that was going on for cops, and they're being trained to violate people and to rough people up. They're not being told, well, you're violating these people. They're being told this is how you do your job, right? But at the end of the day, do we get to excuse them for that? Because we see it all, whether it's cops, public servants, or just normal shit. People are just doing their job, and they're doing that job the way they're told. But we can take an outside look from these companies and see that they're running, some of them are running corruptly and teaching their employees wrong because it's following a certain agenda and not necessarily what really needs to be done. I mean, I've seen it. You can let's take General Motors as an example. We have a General Motors plant here. I worked inside there as a contract supervisor for a while. We had the cleanup people, and anytime they was the higher ups from plant managers from outside of the plant, the head districts or whatever, every time they was going to come to do a walkthrough or inspection of General Motors here in Defiance, we would get a notice 2 weeks in advance to make sure we're getting everything cleaned up, everything straightened out the way it needs to be, and everything all in order. So then this head honcho comes walking through the plant, looks, everything's spick and span, everything's just the way they want it to be, and they, oh, well, looks like you guys are doing a good job here. Well, you know, that my point is, because like when we take audit the federal, Fort Knox, right? This is an audit anything, right? I show up unannounced to these places on camera with our public servants, right? And a lot of the auditors, First Amendment auditors, do that. And that's the way it should be. You take them by surprise. Let's see how it's actually operating. Like the example I gave you, this head honcho from GM goes walking through the place. Oh, it looks spick and span. Everything's running nicely. All the employees are busy working. And that's not the case every day when you're not here, right? They just started doing that 2 weeks in advance for your coming up to you coming through there. So you come through there and you don't know the damn difference. Meanwhile, the rest of the year, the place is looking like shit, filthy damn mess. Half the people aren't working, shit like that, right? It's no different. You just apply that to whatever else, right? But you got employees there of that company that think that's the way it's supposed to be and that's the right way to do it. Well, actually, it's not the right way to do it, but they just think they're just doing their job. So we take cops and other public servants, right? Oh, you're being a good cop. You're just doing your job, right? You care about the people. Maybe deep down you care, but here's the thing. And this is what I say with like, and I apply this to Christianity and stuff too. Like I was saying, our buddy, she that wants to argue with me all the time and kind of purposely make me look bad, right? So whose side are you really on, right? But the thing is, oh, you need to look at yourself in the mirror. Brother, I look at myself in the mirror every day. You know, it don't, and that don't make me perfect. It don't make me better than nobody. But I strive to be righteous. It don't mean I'm actually righteous. It don't mean I don't have my own things to clean up, my own wrongs that I do. But I look at myself every day to try to fix myself. And I ask myself, what is it that I'm trying to be, what I'm trying to achieve, and what should I really be doing? Now, when we take our cops, you know, you take an oath, and this is what people don't understand. This we really need to understand what the Bible, like it or not, we need to understand what the Bible is saying, what it's truly saying, what God is telling us, right? Because He's warned us. Jesus warned us a long time ago. You don't make your oaths. You don't oaths and bonds. You don't do that. You let your yes be yes and your no be no. You just plain and simply be honest, right? Otherwise, because those mean something. So our officers, police, sheriffs, you know, FBI, whoever, right? Your president, your, you know, whatever, your mayor, everybody. They take an oath to the Constitution. They're supposed to be, right? And then they get bonded. And that bond is like an insurance. That if they break that oath, they can be held responsible, and that insurance will have to pay up, and people don't realize that. A lot of times the way to fight back is to go after their oaths and bonds. And I promised a while back I'd do a video on that, and we will get to it. Just they make it real complicated for me and stuff like that. But those oaths mean something. You take an oath, right? You're swearing your soul that you're going to uphold that to the Constitution. Well, the problem is half these, especially younger officers, they mean well. Sure, I'm not gonna, you know, I'm not gonna try to act like they don't. Not all of them, but some of them. You know, these days they made it where a criminal could feel glad about becoming a cop, right? But you took an oath, and the problem is you're listening to some higher up telling you should do this and do that, and which is actually violating the Constitution, actually violating people's rights. And when you do that, no matter how big or small you think it is, you could ruin their life, right? And that's why I invite officers all the time, cops, to watch my channel. I don't want to be here just bashing on cops. I want to help them learn about what they're supposed to be actually doing, okay? I'm not saying every order they're given is wrongful, but they need to start understanding what the Constitution really is, because they don't. They take an oath to it, and they assume that their higher ups and superiors are understanding of it, so that the orders they're following, and while they're violating people. We need to get a grip on that, right? And we need to, and this is why we need to throw these bad ones out into the public and explain what's going on, you know. Hopefully we can get an end to all this corruption and people's lives getting ruined and stuff. But That's what, you know, you take an oath to that Constitution, you need to understand that Constitution, right? Because at the end of the day, I'm not going to let you off on the excuse that, oh, well, you're a good cop and whatever. If you want to be a really, truly good cop, then you sit down and study that Constitution. That's what your oath is to. Your oath is to we the people, not your sergeant, you know, not the chief, not the mayor, you know, depending, well, you know, what they're a cop of. If you're a city cop, right? They act like the mayor and the chief is the superior. Technically, yeah, but also the mayor and the chief have to be held accountable, okay? Because at the end of the day, we the people are in charge. You answer to us, and it's not like we're not sitting here trying to pull some authority over you, but you act like you have. They're trained that if they say something, it's a lawful order. So you go back to this case. They said, "Give us your ID." You don't have a right to that ID unless it fits, unless a certain threshold has been crossed. But these cops ain't trained for that. They are not. Anywhere you go, they train them that you get the ID. You got to identify anyone you come into contact with, the cops, right? And that's illegal, right? That's Nazi Germany right there, right? Truthfully, show us your papers, right? That's not how this is here in this Republic of the United States, right? That's not how that works. I have to be suspected of a crime, of being involved in something wrong before you have any right to my ID. And that's just how it is, right? And not only that, now they're trained that if you don't give the ID or you don't follow anything they say, then you're breaking the lawful order and they have the right to use force against you. And that's wrong too, and arrest you and everything else. And that's wrong too. It is not a lawful order unless it follows the bounds of the law, right? So them saying, give us your ID, and that's not because they did it in an unlawful way, because he was not doing something wrong. And, you know, and they say, well, you didn't do it when we told you, you broke a lawful order. You did not break a lawful order unless you violated something that falls in the bounds of the law. But they're trained that anything they say, they're your mommy and daddy, that they are above you and you have to listen and obey everything they say. I mean, you probably should, because it ain't gonna go down good when you don't. But that's why there's people like me throwing this shit out there. But my point is, I'm not trying to come out wrong and say all cops are like these guys that just did this in this video, right? I mean, I show a lot of focus on that kind of stuff, but I believe there's some well-meaning officers, but I also believe that those kind of good officers are being weeded out. And just a couple points I wanted to make on that. This is why we gotta hold them accountable. And the problem is, we need the good cops, the ones that truly want to be good cops, to start standing up against the ones that are being bad cops. And if that means you got to contact channels like mine to let us know what your superiors are doing, then by all means, do it. I'm sorry. I mean, I understand, well, I might lose my job or get retaliated against if I'm a good cop and try to out these other people. Well, I'm sorry, but that's, you took an oath to that Constitution. You're going to have to do that, right? I've lost jobs before because I stood up for people that were wronged. That if I would have looked the other way and just continued my job, everything would have been fine. But when I see injustice anywhere, I've always been that way, I'm going to stand against it. Because if we don't, then evil and corruption just takes over the world. And we're seeing that happen every day. You know, so I appreciate, I've had a few comments on some of my videos. I appreciate the ones that come out there and say, well, you know, that don't mean all cops are bad cops, and, you know, other certain comments like that. And I'm certainly not taking offense by it, right? By all means, if I'm coming off wrong, correct me a little bit so I can, because sometimes I say stuff and it comes out and it sounds like I'm just saying all cops are bad cops, right? You see around here that I don't make it easy for them, but you got to understand the situation, what's going on around here, right? But that don't mean, I mean, I've said it before, we got a couple of city cops that seem to be good cops, and, you know, if I ain't catching you violating some stuff, I ain't got a right to call you a bad cop, right? Unless you're doing something bad. But so, by all means, I'm not I like to correct myself on there. I don't want to, because by all means, any cops, you're more than welcome to watch my channel, and I invite you to do so. It's a learning experience for all of us, right? Just like I said, I'm not perfect, but I look at myself every day, and I go back on, whether it be comments or stuff people say to me in person, stuff like that. I don't just blow it off. I take a look, am I wrong here and stuff like that. So, but the thing is, if we want to make it where there's more good cops than there are bad cops, because right now the truth is there's more bad cops than there are good cops, right? And if we want that to change, then we're gonna have to, because I do see channels out there that disrespect cops for no reason, right? Because they're out there doing their audits and they want to act like every cop's a pig and everything else. Or they're on their channel where they don't do audits at all and they want to tell you how bad all cops are. Well, okay, but do your due diligence and get out there with the camera yourself too, and prove that you're not afraid of this shit, okay? Don't be just sitting, hiding behind the microphone, right? Hiding behind the camera on your channel and, telling us how bad all cops are. Get out there and prove it like I am, right? Stuff like that. Yeah, and that's directed towards the auditors. I understand I got several different kinds of communities that interact with me on my channel and stuff like that. And I appreciate all the communities. And I also want to say, like I dropped, in this video, I'm gonna drop Ray's Modal's Life's link. And when I do that, I drop other people's links and stuff. That's because I appreciate what they're doing and stuff, but that is not necessarily an endorsement of all of their beliefs or saying that they endorse all of my beliefs either, right? But it's anyways, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. We appreciate you all very much. And let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep all of his commandments, for that is the whole duty of man. For God will bring every work into judgment with every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil. See ya. What? All right.